Hey gang, today we're going to do the guitar solo from Jethro Tull's Aqualung, or Aqualung as he would say, from 1971 or so. Now, my brother was always a huge fan, but what I really remember was from their 1980 MTV video, where I remember two things. One, Ian Anderson is one weird dude, and the second was how awesome that guitar solo was. So we're going to do the solo on the record as close as I can get it to note for note. And we'll go ahead and do that. I have the tab in the description which you'll want to download. Other than that, if you like the video, please click the like button. And if you haven't yet, subscribe for one of these every single week. All right, let's get to it. See you in just a sec. Okay, gang, let's go over this in some detail. I want to remind you to download the tab that's in the description. It's going to make your life a lot easier. Now, I like to think of this in three chunks. The intro, which starts on these lines. Okay. The first time through, and which kind of starts on this. And the second time through, which has that really cool ending line that kind of goes like this. All right. So we're going to go through that in detail in that order. Now I should say that you can understand this based on the G minor pentatonic scale. Pretty much all the lines are going to come right out of that, with very few exceptions. And however, it's not going to all be in this little blues box at the third position. Okay, we're going to be moving the position around quite a bit. So we're going to be playing that minor pentatonic, but not just in this position. Okay, so let's start out with the opening, and it starts like this. Okay, so that line right there starts exactly when the singer kind of ends his and you want to slide up from the third to the fifth and give it some vibrato. You'll notice I'm doing vibrato throughout this, and it's usually of the fairly quick variety, and you just want to kind of watch that. Okay, so here's the first line one more time. Here's the second line. The lower notes, you want to give it maybe a little slower vibrato. Okay, here's the third line. Play it slowly. Okay, here's the fourth line, a very cool one. Now, I'll play that one more time slowly. All right, two things to think about. One is, with this line, there's a tendency to want to play it wrong. At least I have the tendency to play it like this. And of course, that's wrong. You don't want to play those extra notes on the fourth. You want to bar on the fifth fret and play up until you get to that C and pull it down. Second thing is, you'll notice when I play it a little bit faster, I give it that sort of B.B. King butterfly vibrato. I don't know why I do it, but that's just how I do it. If you like that, I don't know. Do your own vibrato. All right. All right, here are the next lines. Okay, that's just a C minor triad and a G minor triad, respectively. And if on that G minor triad you let the notes bleed a little bit, it's okay. It's exactly what he does in the album. I don't know whether it was a mistake or not, but it sounds super cool, I think. Okay, here is a long transition line, so I'm going to play it full, and then we'll go over it very slowly a couple times. Okay, so here it is more slowly. We're going to start from the C, 5th string, 3rd fret, and you'll hear it's kind of over a C major chord. That's the sound that we have here. Okay. One more time, very slowly. Okay, a couple of things to look for. One is that one thing that's very characteristic of this solo, I think it's really neat, is these multiple notes, right? So you're playing particularly the C on the 5th fret on the 3rd string quite often, multiple times. So, oops. Yeah, right there, a couple of times. The other thing that's kind of tough about this line is quickly getting to this 8th fret on the 2nd string and playing a little bit of a bend on that. It's hard to get to that quickly. Just something to look out for. All right, and that is the intro. Now let's do the first time through solo. Okay, so I'll play the first time through solo in its entirety right now, a little bit slow. Okay, and that's it. So let's go through that line by line. So here is the first line. The only thing I'd say is you got to watch out for the syncopation on that, and you've got another one of those double notes. All right? Here's the second line. Okay, so that line starts out with a little slide up from the 3rd to 5th and sliding up to the 7th, little vibrato, and bring it back to the 5th. Okay? Now, here's this line right here, and this is the best I could come up with, or the closest I could come with. Okay, here's the third line. Very cool line. Starting with this little triplet here on the 3rd. Okay. Another one of those bring it up and bring it down near the end of the that. That's a little bit interesting. We're playing a hammer-on and pull-off from the 3rd, and then playing the 3rd, and then skipping a string and coming to the 5th there, which is pretty interesting. It happens a lot in this solo, so watch out for that too. Okay, here's the next line. Okay, so that one's a slide in the positions, right? So you're starting in this third position right there. You're going to slide up to fifth position, starting from this. Okay, and now the first ending lick. All right, one more time slowly. Couple of different things to think about. One is when you come up to this, that's something that you need to practice a little bit to get the timing right. The second thing is this little hammer on and pull off is hard to get up to speed, so I would suggest practicing it. Now you could also move it up to the 8th position and try it there, where you get a little bit easier hammer on and pull off, but I think it's easier and sounds right when you're doing it there. Either way you want to go with it. If you want to do your slide, that pull off or this, either one's fine. I've written it down here in the 5th position. Okay, let's go over the second solo runaround. Okay, here it is in its entirety. All right. That's the end of it. Okay, so let's go over the first thing, and it's typical sort of rock blues lick to start it off. All right. So again, this is over a G minor chord, and we're playing starting out on the 4th string, 5th fret. Typical bend on the 3rd string, 5th fret, bring it up and pull it down. Whole step. Okay, this is a little bit different. So what's a little bit different about that is you're going from the 3rd string, 3rd fret, your fingers want to go to the 4th string, 5th fret, but instead they're going to the 4th string, 3rd fret. And that little ending note. Okay, so one more time. Okay, all right, here's the next line. Okay, so this is very, very syncopated. It doesn't start out that way. It really is just kind of outlines, again, a G minor chord. So all that's normal. And then it goes to this. So that's just up here in the 5th position. We're playing 6, 8, and then 7. You want to let that ring. All right, and I would suggest listening to this solo on the record to get that timing exactly. I have no doubt that this was a improvised or at least semi-improvised solo, and so the person who was playing it was just trying to make sure he kept the time and finding something cool between licks. And I think this does it. Don't get me wrong. I really do think it's cool, but it does sound a little bit improvised to make sure it gets it right. So if you don't want to play exactly that, I'm okay with that too. I'm sure everybody would be. But if you want to get it close to exact, listen to the album to make sure you get it. Or the demos, I think, is reasonably close. Okay. Okay, so here's the next line. Okay, so this is, you're spanning quite a bit here. You're playing 6th on the 2nd string and the 10th on the 1st, and then the 8th on the 2nd string. And that's just a hammer on, or that's just a pull off, simple pull off actually, 8 to 6, and then play the 6th on the 2nd string. Okay, here's the next line. All right, another very, very cool line. First of all, it's starting in the 5th, and you're going to slide down to 3rd position. So we're going to start here on the 6th, and then slide down to the to the 3rd position. Okay, what's really interesting and kind of tough about this one is we're playing this pull-off, first coming to the 4th and then coming back up to the 3rd string and back down to the 5th. Remember when I said that it does that string skipping? Here's another place it does that, right here. One more time. Here's that hammer, here's that pull-off and string skipping part. Notice it skips a string at the very end too. It goes from the 5th on the 3rd string to the 5th on the 5th string. Okay, here's the last line. All right. Now, I shift all the way up here to the 8th position to play this. You don't have to. You could probably play it down here starting in the 3rd position and shifting all the way up. But I find I play it here, and I don't have to shift so much to get to this last lick. Okay, so it's starting here on the 6th string, 8th position. There's the first shift up to 10th position. That's the first part of the lick that you want to learn. One more time slowly. Okay, then here's the second part. Okay, so that one's a little bit different. We're just going to play on the 12th, 4th string, and now we're going to shift up into the 12th position. Now, right before you play the last lick, you're going to hammer on from the 14th to this 15th, just for a little grace note. Now, if you don't play that, nobody's going to notice, nobody is going to care, but that's what I thought I could hear on the record. So here it is right here. And that little 15th leads into the following. Now you're on the first 2 strings, 13th position, barring on the 13th fret, first 2 strings, and you're just playing 13, hammer on to the 15, and play the 13 on the 1st, like so. I guess it's only, yeah, it's 3 times. Give that lots of vibrato to end it. All right, and that's it, folks. Well, I hope you enjoyed this one. This was a bit of a long lesson, but we covered a lot of ground here. Hope you liked it, and we'll see you on down the road.